Hey everybody, happy Friday. I don't know about you, but thank goodness it is Friday. I have my surgery scheduled for next week, the devil's mastectomy, and I have been so ridiculously stressed. It is insane. I I don't have a specific question to address or a topic exactly to address today, but just wanted to kind of talk about what I've been going through, trying to mentally and physically and emotionally and structurally prepare for surgery coming up. Um, yeah, I've been super stressed. A lot of the reason I'm feeling stressed right now is really based on these intense physical limitations that are going to be in place once the surgery happens. So, right after, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but right after I got the diagnosis, they set me up for this class. And go through this whole hour or something long class and you learn about what the recovery process looks like, which is great mentally to be able to prepare for that, but it is daunting. I have an entire book of everything, all the exercises and the PT and the stretches and more importantly, the things I'm not allowed to do are on that list. And the two things that come to mind is for basically for 2 weeks, I'm not allowed to lift my elbows over my shoulders, which means, come to here. That's it. There's no putting shirts over my head. There's no, I don't even know how I'm going to wash my hair and shower. Like, there's just so many things that you use your arms lifting over your shoulders for. And so that's been huge, just thinking about that. I ended up buying, they have these special double mastectomy shirts that are button up or zip up. And what they are is, obviously you don't have to put them over your head, but they have little pockets on the side for drainage, tubes, drainage. I don't even know what it's going to look like. So basically, I'm going to be living in those two shirts for 2 weeks. So you'll see a lot of that, I'm sure, as my recordings move, as I have the surgery and then I do more recordings. So the other limitation is I'm not allowed to lift or carry anything more than 15 pounds for about 2 weeks. I don't know about you, but one of my dogs is about 10 pounds and one is about 20 pounds and the other is about 25 pounds. So I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do dog walks or if I'm going to be able to pick them up or do anything except for maybe the littlest one, and then without technically violating doctor's instructions, which admittedly is probably going to happen. But there's just a lot of restrictions and I don't want to do anything that's going to tear stitches or cause problems. And it's just been feeling daunting. And then there's just the number of unknowns are actually really exhausting. There's unknowns with what the findings are going to be. Am I going to need chemo? Am I going to need radiation? Um, we're hoping that they won't. That's the whole reason that I did the double mastectomy, is because that's the most likely chance I have to avoid having to do chemo or radiation. But who knows? If they find that the cancer is spread through the lymph nodes, then congratulations, that's what I get to do. And I really, really don't want to do that if I can avoid it. And then there's the implant situation. And the one bright spot in this whole mess of cancer is that I was thinking, it's that silver lining, right? And so I was thinking, well, at least at the end of this, I can pick out the titties I've always wanted and never got to have. The ones that genetics did not give me, because the ones I got from my genetics were cancer filled, not boobylicious. And so I was like, this is going to be a good way to end this. At the end, I will have nice, perky, boisterous titties, a little bit bigger than the ones I've got now. And even if I've got some scars and everything else, at least I'll look sexy in a bathing suit and I'll be able to make them look nice when I've got clothes on. And then I'm sitting at the surgeon's office. So we started talking about, pros and cons and everything else. And I started asking, can we make them a little bigger and perkier? Because this is not considered an elective surgery, so insurance is going to pay for it. And he was super critical of that idea. He said, well, you should really go to the size you are right now. He goes, we might be able to go a little bit bigger. But then he starts telling me how sometimes when somebody's on the operating table, they get you open and they remove all the other tissue and they realize your skin is too thin to do implants at all. So I might get off the operating table and they'll say, you're going to be flat as a pancake for the rest of your life. Congratulations. Uh, Yay. And so it just kind of put a damper on that whole thought process. The one little silver lining there feels a little bit more gray instead of silver. And so that's just been frustrating. It's been quite a process, quite a bit of an emotional roller coaster, frankly. So I thought I'd share a little bit of what I've been trying to do to mentally and physically prepare. And frankly, it has not been going well. So I tried to prepare for work. And so 4 weeks ago, I started telling my team, this is what's going to happen. We need to plan for coverage because I'm going to be out for 4 weeks, which is just an enormous amount of time, frankly. I love my job and I'm very, very active and I'm a bit of a workaholic. So being away from it for 4 weeks is going to be a challenge. And so we started planning and talking about all the things we were going to wrap up magically before my surgery. And I don't know what it is about the universe, but almost none of them got done. And I'm just like, oh my God, frantically. So this is the week before. So Tuesday is my surgery. I'm at work Monday. And then I've been at work, of course, all week. And today's Friday. So I have one more day before surgery. And it has just been an absolute shit show. Everything that could have gone wrong this week went wrong. And I feel like a crazy person. And I feel terrible. I feel like I'm putting my team in this lurch of, by the way, we didn't finish anything we promised we were going to finish. And congratulations, now it's your problem. And I don't like it. The other thing I did, and I talked to my boss about it before I did it, is I'm technically in the office on Monday, but I set my out of office to actually go into effect at 3 o'clock today so that anyone who reaches out to me this evening, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, it's going to say, hey, reach out to these people and for XYZ responsibilities, and they'll reach out to them. And then hopefully that will give us time that if those people need support, they're not able to answer those questions or solve those problems, that they can, discreetly reach out to me and I can help them through it the first time before I go out on leave and then I'm unreachable for a while. So that's what we've been doing. But there's always too much to do. It's just so hard to prepare to be gone for such a long time. And then there's the house preparation, which has failed miserably, mostly because we have a puppy. And the puppy is very energetic and very destructive right now. And so trying to get the house clean and do all the things, it hasn't happened. And then the mental preparation, which I have been very good at completely ignoring all of my feelings entirely about this whole process. Feelings? Who needs them? Totally unnecessary. All that emotional baggage. Let's just use our sarcasm and humor and we'll just pretend that none of this is happening and completely ignore it. And so that's been fun. And again, one of my horrible bad habits is to ignore my feelings entirely. And so I was talking to my therapist this week and last week and the week before. And she keeps trying to remind me, and so I'm going to pass it on to you in case you need to hear it, is you have to let yourself process what's happening. Give yourself time to grieve the loss of the physical and the change and that it's okay. And that it's okay to be upset about cancer, because cancer's a bitch, in case you didn't know, and it's okay. And I'm really bad at that. Really bad at that. I tend to deflect emotions entirely. I tend to deflect my emotions entirely using other tactics. Like I said, sarcasm and humor are my ways to go. And so I haven't taken the opportunity to process very much of what's going on on the on the. I mean, I processed so much. I've got a stack of papers, but in terms of the feelings, emotional side, that has been a challenge, and it has been neglected. And so I think this week, combined with the stress of work and the fact that the surgery is in 4 days now, I think it's just finally started bubbling to the surface, which has not helped my work week in the slightest. And it's just been tough. So that's been interesting. The one thing that has helped, and going back to kind of some of the things I was talking about earlier, is just this dread of being physically immobilized and not being able to lift my arms and not being able to lift over 15 pounds. Is my therapist recommended putting together a list, because I'm so active. My therapist recommended putting together a list of all the things I could accomplish while relatively immobilized. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm not allowed to walk for more than 15 minutes, like twice a day for the first week. That's insane. That's insane. It's never going to happen. They're totally going to violate doctor's orders here. Don't tell them. But to put together a list of things I can do sitting down that don't require a lot of weight, that don't require a lot of lifting, that don't require a lot of movement and mobility. And so I have, and I actually did really good. I have this whole list. You want to hear it? I'm sure you're dying to hear it. Silly stuff like I'm going to organize my jewelry box. I bought this new jewelry box like 6 months ago, and I haven't done anything with it. And then I have do a castle puzzle. We bought a 3D giant castle puzzle. It's going to be great. I'm super excited. We have this mystery detective game. So it's not all like projects. Some of it's fun. What can we do that's fun besides sitting in bed and watching movies and reading books? Which, to be frank, I'm going to get a whole bunch of book reading done, which is very exciting. That's going to be great. I'm going to do some organization. I'm going to clean up some of my personal email box stuff. Hopefully get some of these videos that we're working on right here. I have a whole bunch of videos I've recorded. I haven't been able to edit them because I don't have time. So just getting this recorded and is not sufficient. I have to actually edit them and put them online so people can enjoy them. But doing a bunch of documentation, going through my filing cabinet, doing a bunch of archiving, inventory, all the things I can do. So that's kind of what I've been trying to think about, is what can I accomplish? And then trying to figure out how to process the emotions behind all of it. And so yeah, I don't know if any of this is helpful to anybody, but that's kind of the mental thought process I've been going through as I've been dealing with this the last couple of weeks. And like I said, it's been super, super stressful. Matt's been super, super supportive, which is amazing. The dogs have been as cuddly as ever, and I'm sure they're going to love the fact that I'm not working all day for a little bit, and we can cuddle on the couch and eat ice cream and watch movies. But I hate not being productive. So making that list of what I can do to be productive over the next weeks is going to be, is I think probably the most helpful thing that I've been able to do. Is every time I notice something small that I can do, I just put it on the list. And then of course the part the therapist wants me to do, processing my feelings, we'll have to figure. Maybe I'll put that on the bottom of the list. But anyways, surgery's Tuesday. Maybe I'll talk to you before then. If not, thank you, and have a wonderful day.